Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Seiko Prospex, reference SNE435 solar diver. They don't have a ton of solar dive watches, and this is one of the newer ones, and this is actually the PADI edition. PADI, of course, is the certifying agency when you want to get your diver certification. So a lot of people like the fact that Seiko does some official PADI watches, because after you get your certification, it's really cool to get a Seiko watch with it. So this is one of the newer PADI ones. It's not a limited edition, but they call it a special edition. What that means, it's unclear, but it means they won't make it forever. So Seiko, among other companies in Japan, have really great movements that are powered by light. Citizens is the Eco Drive, and Seiko just calls it solar. I don't think Casio has any particular special name with it. It's just, I think they call it Tough Solar or something like that. So you just need to know this is a quartz movement that doesn't require a battery, because it receives power through light, which enters the dial to a photovoltaic cell underneath, and you can't see it because they do a good job of making it difficult to know that it's anything but a standard dial, which is something that they do very well. The case is 43.5 millimeters wide, so it's a larger watch, rotating bezel. The blue and red colors are, of course, the signature colors for all the PADI watches, and there's something about blue and red on Seiko dive watches which has always been very popular, so I think that's one of the reasons that they said, yeah, this is a great idea. This is one of the more budget watches in the Seiko Prospex collection, but you still get a good amount of quality. But of course, comparing a several hundred versus several $1,000 Seiko dive watch is very different. And so the sort of stream of watch, or the family of watches they make it clear that there's entry-level models all the way up to really nice, luxurious dive watches. I don't think anyone makes a larger spread in terms of price of dive watches than Seiko. One of the reasons I like this was the three-dimensionality and the legibility of the dial. You have this very traditional Seiko dive watch look that I think you started to see in the 80s. It was very modern, and that goes into the hands, the hour and minute hand, as well as the hour markers. There's little differences here and there between the various watches over the years, but this one has sort of a nice core look. It's sort of like they took the Rolex Submariner and wanted to make it a little bit more modern and techy, and again, that began in the 80s, and I think it's successful because it has the visual appeal of the sort of more traditional, I'll call it Swiss dive watch look, with sort of Japanese aesthetic, which I always found to be very, very flattering. This watch is available in other versions as well, a black one, for example, without the PADI designation. You can see the PADI designation on the dial. As a dive watch, it's water resistant to 200 meters without a screw-down crown, which is fine. I tend to feel a lot more comfortable. Actually, I'm sorry, it does have a screw-down crown. I take that back. I like the little red there on the crown. That's a nice little design element. You don't see that very often. It's a nice little touch that adds personality, so that you have a little bit of red matching the slight amount of red on the dial. There's the minute hand, of course, and then around the hour marker at 4 sections. I'm sorry, the minute markers. There are four points of red, and red at the end of the seconds hand. If you are looking for a quartz dive watch, there's a lot of options out there. I happen to like this one especially because of the solar element. I mean, one of the things you never want to do is go on a dive and realize that your watch is down. If it's an automatic watch, you can wind it. If it's a quartz watch and you need a new battery, you're probably screwed, and having a timepiece is very important. These days, of course, you're going to be relying on a dive computer, so your timepiece, if you're wearing one, would merely serve as a backup or something cool to look at underwater. There's nothing better than taking a dive watch underwater and taking pictures of your dive watch underwater, which is cool. But if you are out and you realize, oh no, I had my watch in a drawer for too long or somewhere where there isn't light, you can just put it in the sun for a little while and you'll get plenty of power and, of course, accuracy. So again, this is the Seiko Prospex Solar Diver. This is the SNE435. Retail price is just $395, and you can see the full review on aBlogtoWatch. Thanks. Oh, back of the watch. I think I showed you the back. Still plastic all over this one. Sorry, it hasn't been sized yet. Sometimes I go through these reviews and I'm like, oh, I missed showing something. Okay, thanks everyone.